My name is Guro and I am really passionate about humans and technology. I am going to talk about how diversity and self-leadership is the key to get a more gender-balanced work environment in the technology industry. So let's make it happen. 3 years ago, I went to a conference, and on that conference there were over 200 ladies, and they all were interested in technology, the same as me. I remember I had to stop in the door and just look upon all those women, and they were interested in the same thing as me. During that conference, I got to hear and talk to so many great role models for me, and a dream took shape. I also wanted to stand on a stage and inspire, empower, and share of my knowledge to others. I hope I will do that today, and I will talk about how self-leadership can bring more diversity into the technology business. So the problem, as many as you know, the gender gap is closing not fast enough in the technology business. I remember my mentor, she told me a story that when she was a young girl in high school, she wanted to study to become an engineer and study technology. But the teachers and her parents and the friends around her told that that was not for girls. That was over 30 years ago, and luckily she didn't listen to them. Now my story, only a few years ago, is exactly the same. My student advisor said that with my grades I should become a lawyer or a doctor, and study engineering was not for girls. So the problem today is as real as it was 30 years ago. And though these are just stories, we also have some facts to back it up. The World Economic Forum has a gender gap report from 2021, and it says that it will take more than a generation, from 100 years to 135 years, before the gender gap in the global perspective is closed. Now think about that. The year of 2156 is the year when this closes. Neither of us will be alive that day, and not even the child I'm carrying will be alive to experience gender equality. Now, this problem needs to be solved, right? But how long will it take? 20 years? 30 years? The United Nations says that this is a goal we should solve by 2030. And how are we going to solve that in less than 8 years? We all need to step it up. And I think that self-leadership is the key to solving this. Even if you are a colleague, a manager, a director, or just a person, you need to own this problem and make it your own, so that we all can reach this goal by 2030. Now, if we rewind a little bit, we need to understand the why of this. Why do we need diversity? Can't it just be as it is? Therefore, I want to explain to you 4 whys that we need to take as a motivation to do something about this. Now, the first why is about how we are happier when we work in gender-balanced environment. A recent study done by 3 researchers at NTNU says that in more gender-balanced environments and in classes where there were more equal balance, the dropout rate was lower than in the others. And that means that the turnover is lower in gender-balanced environments than it is when it's not so good. Now the second why is all about how work environment becomes more productive in gender-balanced environments. McKinsey have over the last years done several studies that shows that the gender-balanced business case is much better than the ones who aren't. There's a true and clear connection between diversity and also top management who have diversity and the outperformance of financial goals. So on the executive teams, there are a much bigger likelihood of financial outperformance if there are a diverse team rather than not. Now, if we look on the third why, diversity is essential to stay relevant to our customers. If you take the world's population and the technology that we use in our everyday life. For instance, if you take your phone and you're without it for the whole day or week, or what would you do if you didn't have your phone? Now, the users of the technology is half of the population, and they are female. So the diversity in front of the technology needs to be represented also behind the technology. And it's really important that we see how this is connected. Now, without the diversity and technology, we can't fulfill the true potential of the technology and the digitalization that we need in this society. In addition to that, if you have diverse teams, you will get more diverse ideas and, of course, problem solving, and that you also need to know when you have different problems to solve tomorrow than you have today. If we look to the fourth why, the war for talent is back. And we know that we are lacking people in the ICT business. But a recent study done by IT unions in Norway says that by 2030 we will lack more than 40,000 employees in this business. It says itself, we can't only recruit from half of the population then. We need also the female gender to reach those goals and to have so many new employees during the next 8 years. So with this, the understanding of why, we need to know the problem and know the whys to get our motivation right to actually solve this. And the key to this, I think, is self-leadership. How can you contribute, and have you done your part to reach these goals? What else and what more can you do to do your part? I think it's important that we all take a look if we perhaps have thought of some plans, we have made a strategic direction, now is the time to take action and made some bold decisions. We need to look at how everyone can contribute to reach these goals. For instance, if you are a lady in the tech business, you shouldn't be afraid to be a role model. And that is key to getting young girls open their eyes and to look that this is a business also for me. If you're a man in the tech business, I encourage you to do the same. We need ambassadors and role models that speak up for this cause. Regardless of gender, we need to look at how we can contribute. And we need to not only put this on the agenda, but we need to take action and really make some bold decisions. Now, if we execute on this self-leadership, we can actually do something about it, and hopefully, we won't wait 135 years before the gender gap is closed. When I was a student at the NTNU and studied computer science, I was 1 out of 2 females in my class. Now, I often passed other female students in the hallway, but the probability was high that that was a nursing student rather than an engineering or a tech student. So this got me wondering, what can we do about it? So together with the one other female student, we started the Girls Project ADA at NTNU Gjøvik. Now this project was meant to connect with other female students across classes, years, and directions within IT on that school. Today that project works not only to have a community for these girls, it also works like an ambassador and a role model for younger girls so that they will have more female students in the years to come. When I later started to work for Tieto Every and left the ADA project and the school behind, I got myself in the same situation. I had a lack of community around me. I worked from the community Innlandet, and I had to travel to the capital Oslo to get this community and the feeling of belonging. So what could I do about that? Yes, then I started the ODA network at Innlandet, a network that works to empower women and to lead the change. Now these are examples of what you can do with what you have been given. Now I work as a head of department of cloud advisory and technology in Innlandet. I got the trust and responsibility to take on a department at the age of 25. And I do everything in my power to make the department gender balanced and diverse. But it's hard. It takes a lot of time and effort to start recruiting girls already from the children's school. Take for instance the Girl Tech Party, an initiative by Oda Network and collaborators. And here you can see girls thriving with computers and learning about how robotics and technology works already from children's school. I just tell you, a day like this, you get filled with inspiration and courage about how we can actually solve this problem. But it takes some time, because these aren't going to work in the tech industry, at least for 15 years. Another initiative is the Girls and Technology project, where they yearly have an inspiration day with girls at the age of 13 to 15 years old. Now this day is filled with energy, it's a red carpet, and they get a lot of boost. They can see how beautiful and inspirational the technology business really can be. These are important initiatives, and it's really important that you start from a young age. Because if you go to a university and you want to recruit a gender-balanced mass, it's too late, because the choice has been taken many years ago. Now this is an example of that it's not a quick and easy solution to this problem. It takes time to change the society. It's about time that the society understand that technology is both for girls and for boys. So ask yourself, have you done your part? Is there something else you can do to make this happen as soon as possible so that we can reach our common goal? Now, if we take this into action and practice self-leadership from today, I am sure that we can bring more diversity into the technology business already from tomorrow, and of course also change the rest of the world. So if you want to read some further on this, please contact me and look at my sources, and thank you for your time.